Good afternoon. It's Monday, the 27th of July, 2026, our usual Monday midday mini fest slot as part of Self Pub Fest. And I'm delighted to have regulars David and Jack, and new to Self Pub Fest, horror writer, horror author, it's published, Darren Youngson. And I'm going to hand over, we don't normally do this, but we were just saying before I hit to record that David was officially host of a couple of the panels in January, the all-day festival, and I kept butting in. So I've moved myself last. It may not appear like this in YouTube, but I'm handing over the reins to David because it was his idea. So this session is the writer's toolbox, and hopefully at some point he will explain the hippopotamus.
Oh, that's still running as a gag, is it? Okay. Yes, it was my idea, and it's simply a way of talking about what writers use to do their writing. And I've split it into hardware, software, and wetware, which is the stuff that goes in the brain, a science fiction term. Although I think it was used in psychology beforehand when I was looking it up. Anyway, that's the idea. So if I could get people to introduce themselves, and perhaps show us an object if they've got such a thing.
Yeah.
I've no idea which order Morgan has put us in. So,
thinking of what?
Darren, it's your first time. You go ahead. Tell us about yourself.
My name is Darren. I'm a science fiction / horror writer. I've written one book, self-published it, Amazon KDP. I use LibreOffice, something called LibreOffice for my writing, not Word, but I'll have to get Word eventually because I think it's way better. The only thing I can think of, just what we discussed, David, is my phone. I use a lot of music to help inspire me to write. I love my bands and that, 80s bands and everything else, so I use a lot of that. Motivational speeches as well, help to keep you on your toes and that, don't give up. I've just passed my second course of university, Arts and Humanities it's called, also creative writing. So yeah, my second book is getting actual proofread now as we speak. So yeah, it is difficult, but it's fun as well. You have to have fun with these things, because otherwise, what's the point, So, but I think music is the thing that's been helping me a lot to help get my inspiration, and also reading as well, if that helps.
I did an MA in creative writing, and one of the modules was reading for writers, reading into writing. So they were very hot on, you must read lots of things, lots of different things. I suppose that's in the wetware section. But your phone. Okay, I've got Jack next.
Yeah.
Go
on. So I'm Jack Chandler. I write primarily thrillers. I have written a children's book as well, and I have written a romantasy. All the books are out there at the moment, which is 2 thrillers, 1 romantasy, 1 children's book, and a free novella on my website. And I have my 3rd thriller book coming out this year. And I'm currently in the throes of working out how to promote for that and everything else. I don't have that much in the way of hardware to show you. What I will show you is my keyboard, which is one of these weird shaped ones.
You wait until you see David.
Yeah, I'll see your keyboard and raise you. Yeah, definitely.
I bet you will. I find this, I didn't actually realize how sort of like how close my wrists get when I type on my laptop. And then now that when I'm on my computer, I can type on this, and it's so much better. But my fingers still go to the wrong keys. I need some practice on it still.
So which keyboard are you using? What's that? Show us again. Is that a Wave? Microsoft Wave?
It's I don't know, it's a Logitech one, but it's...
Does that make it easier to type?
I think what it's meant to do, it's not that it makes it easier to type, but it stops you from getting repetitive strain and injury in your wrists.
It's cool, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm trained to use my left index finger for the B, and I now have to use my right index finger for the B, which isn't a huge stumbling block. You know, it's not a deal breaker, but I do find that when I get tired, and if I've been at my computer for quite a long time, then it ends up being nonsense what comes out.
Right. Well, I have to see your keyboard and raise you.
Show me.
God, this is my keyboard. Yep.
Oh my God.
It looks
Okay.
retro.
That's one half of it.
Okay.
I'll pick the other one up.
It's got letters on it, has it? Or is
I can't even see the letters on it, but I'm assuming they are there. You don't just like wing it.
No,
yes.
Okay, they're there.
This is an Ergo Docs EZ.
Oh.
And there are some people who just have pure black keys on it with nothing written, which I would find sort of ludicrous.
No.
Okay. That's adding an extra challenge, frankly, I don't need in my life.
It takes a little while to get used to it, no more so than your Logitech. But yeah. I'm completely sold on this. It actually sits on the desk tilted. So your hand isn't, because your hand will naturally do that. And then you force it to twist to go to your keyboard normally.
Yeah.
So mine is.
Yeah. So
this is so that it's like
this is the same.
That's exactly what that's trying to do. It's trying to tent. But mine is tented at that sort of angle.
Okay.
So my wrists don't get twisted.
Yeah.
This is where you get your carpal tunnel from, because your carpal tunnel's in here, and by twisting your wrist, you're tightening those nerves.
Okay.
The main thing with this keyboard is, of course, this is the thumb cluster. So you type with your thumb on these keys.
And what are the two black ones?
That would be the space bar?
Space and return.
Okay.
Actually, no, that's
comfortable.
This is my left-hand one. So that's shift.
Okay.
And that's alt.
Right.
Okay.
But you can reconfigure it, move everything around. But this is my most flexible digit, right? My right thumb, I'm right-handed. And that on a normal keyboard you use for typing the space bar and nothing else. And my second most flexible digit, my left thumb, is used for pressing the same space bar, which is absurd. Once you've used one of these thumb clusters, you just go back. And I look at even your high-tech looking curved keyboard, and that looks antiquated to me now. I cannot understand why people don't.
Try not to take that personally.
No,
I find actually the only digit I don't use is my right thumb.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything. My left thumb does the space bar.
My right thumb, space, return, control key, and I can tuck my thumb underneath my hand and hit the backspace key.
Oh my.
So I can hit 4 keys with my thumbs very easily. And then there's a few other keys that I'd have to move my hand slightly.
Yeah.
But you do, I mean, I think the point to make here is that you need to have proper office equipment. You know, it's worth investing in a keyboard that you like, and that's ergonomic, because, you know, you might not have repetitive strain injury now, but if you're going to sit writing for 2-3 hours a day, then you're going to get repetitive strain injury, and then you can't type, and then you're really in trouble.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
My list has got a good chair, good office chair, good desk.
For the chair.
I don't think you can buy a PC that isn't good enough for doing writing now, because you don't need a lot of speed to run Word. You know,
I get bad headaches usually if I'm writing for so long.
Well, check your eyes. I used to get headaches, and then so this is a thing, isn't it? My reading glasses. Yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah.
I mean, I come across writers who are hunched over their laptop, saying things like, "Oh, I can type just as fast with 2 fingers," and you think,
"No,
that keyboard is terrible."
My mum insisted that I took the college extra class for touch typing, and best thing she ever did for me, honestly. Well, that and giving birth, you know, but touch typing is definitely saves me so much time and so many errors.
Yeah. I mean, that ability to think something and it appears on the screen without being aware of what your fingers are doing is
Yeah.
fantastic. It really
Yeah,
is.
definitely. It's amazing actually, because if you actually stop and try and think about it, or even just stop and try and think how to spell a word, then it takes much longer. Whereas if your fingers just go, you're not really aware of what you're doing.
I mean, every so often you'll get your fingers in slightly the wrong position, and then you're typing gibberish for a while. But it's definitely an advantage. Morgan,
Hello, David.
introduce yourself and show us a thing.
Okay. Well, my thing was going to be, I've got three things. I'm going to be greedy. Mini notebooks, because I put these in every jacket pocket and every bag, because you never know when you're going to get an idea. Or I take my phone with me because I have notes, so I dictate just the normal notes app that comes with an iPhone, and I dictate everything into it. So one or t'other. And I have a generic Bluetooth Apple keyboard like that. I did have one that was longer with a numerical thing on the side, but it drove me a bit nuts. And the chair. Got to have a good chair.
I mean, I used to have a Logitech keyboard, and your left hand goes on one place, your right hand here, then your right hand does the navigation keys, then it does the numpad, and then you're supposed to use your mouse. Well, you've left your desk by that stage. I got a bit of a problem in this finger with my mouse, so I now use my mouse in my left hand, and that makes a lot more sense because you can go left to your mouse and right to your numeric keypad if you've got one.
Well, what Jack said about being the typing hit a call. I've mentioned this before, but back in the 80s, we had a careers advisor come in, and I think it was a he, it might have been a she, said that that because I'm female, I should either be a nurse or a secretary, but I wasn't clever enough to be a nurse, therefore go and be a secretary. And so that's what I did. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So, but it did mean that serial data I wrote in 28 days, and the first draft was 116,000 words. 115, 640,000 words. Because I could type really quickly. Yeah. So failed the shorthand. It was RSA and Pitman's typing, and it was like a 4-piece course for a year, and failed the shorthand dismally. And I've only ever lost one job because of that. They wanted a shorthand typist. But that's it. So yeah, I type really quickly. Don't have to look at the keyboard.
I actually have another thing that I can show you that I forgot. So it is essential. Is my Kindle Scribe.
Okay.
And the thing is that I always had notebook. I have notebooks everywhere as well, but I used to always have a notebook in the middle of the bed. Because if it's on the bedside table, then I'll invariably knock over my water and book and iPhone and everything else before I actually get my hand on the notebook. So the notebook lives in the middle of my bed, and in the middle of the night, when I think of things, I write notes. And when in the morning, invariably, I will have written over something else that I've written earlier that evening. And I can't turn on the light because I'll wake up my husband. So my kids got me for Christmas a couple of years ago a Kindle Scribe, and it's like backlit. It's at the lowest intensity, but it's backlit, and I can now write my notes, and I love it. It's absolutely brilliant.
Does it do it so you write it by hand and it transcribes it into text?
Yeah, it can do. Okay. You can email it to yourself as it is on the Scribe. You can email it, you can ask it to translate it into text and then email it to you.
Because that would be really useful.
Yeah, it is, although my writing is a little difficult for it to read.
Okay.
While you're talking about it, not putting the light on, get one of these. It's a pen that lights up. Just enough light to write down.
I had one of those. That's what I used to use for a while, but I had this really, really brilliant one, and the battery, I think, was pretty much dead. So the light was perfect. And when it died and I couldn't get new batteries for it, I had to get a new one. and they're shockingly bright. In the middle of the night when it's pitch black and you turn that thing on, I mean, you might as well be holding a bright torch. So I don't do that.
This
I
one,
tried it for a while and no.
this one just lights up about that much, a hand-sized thing on your notebook. So it's just enough to see what you're writing.
I think you can
I
get
find
a
it
dim one
frustrating
that attaches
write.
to the Kindle or the page of a book. It's just a wee dim light.
Yeah.
It attaches to the top of the book or like a
Mhm.
Kindle, I think. Or maybe they're really old now.
I can show you. So these are last night's notes.
Oh, yes.
Right.
And
Interesting. It's a graph background.
that's a choice. I
Okay.
prefer that. I think that's a German thing. It's just
Okay. Yes, a lot of
lot of
notebooks,
that here.
aren't they, over in
Yeah.
Germany? Yeah.
And I prefer it.
You can have lines.
You can have lines.
God, that's good.
But I'm never going to stick to the lines. You can also have blank. It can just be completely blank. But I prefer the
Okay.
When I did my MA in creative writing, I was involved in a conversation with the other students who were all talking about which moleskin notebook to get. And this woman was putting off starting her book because she couldn't find the right notebook. And this has been going on for months.
Wow.
You're thinking, just any old scrap of paper, surely. But no, she had to get the right one.
Maybe they didn't do it. Maybe that she was procrastinating so much because she knew that they didn't make the one she wanted.
But after this conversation, I had to go and find some moleskin notebooks to see what they were all talking about, because I was the only one who wasn't in this strange fetish circle, really. Yeah.
I mean, is that this is maybe a stupid question. Is that actually skin of moles? What is a moleskin? But
it's a company, isn't it? I think it's a brand of.
Okay, good.
And upmarket.
I suppose the original ones were actual moleskin. Sounds a bit disturbing, doesn't it? Really.
They're protected over here.
Yeah, that did sound quite weird.
Yeah.
They are here.
So I've got another gadget as well to show off. This is a stand for my phone. It just sort of opens out to hold my phone up. But here's another keyboard.
Ooh.
And this is one of these fold-out keyboards that just connects to the phone, and off you go.
Yes, ditto. I use this one. I went to Troubadour in September.
Yeah.
I use the Bluetooth. Use this. Brilliant.
I can stick my phone, my phone switch, because I've opened this out, my phone has switched itself on because it's connected to the keyboard. But I pop that in my pocket, and when I fold this up, this will go in my jacket pocket, and it's a lot better than typing with just your thumbs on a phone. Here's me going on about thumb clusters on my big keyboard. I've got to use my fingers for the phone.
See, I'm the wrong generation for that. I still use fingers on my phone.
Yeah.
It's apparently only the young things now that can do the thumb thing. I can't do the thumb thing. Not on my phone.
No, I can't.
Do we have favourite pens? Because I've been through umpteen pens trying to find the right one. Luckily, the best ones I found are Poundland, 3 for £1. And regular to Self-Pub Fest is H.J. Furl, who is now Daniel. I don't know if you can see that. Daniel H.J. Furl. So he's sent me 121, one for me, 121 of these for the goodie bags in October. So you'll get one, David.
Yes.
October.
This just happens.
And they're just Poundland, 3 for £1. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
Rave about them.
But you can't
got something like that.
Oh yeah.
Basic.
Can't buy pens. I've got a box of pens, and every time I need a new one, I will get a pen out. But I will try several, and I have to chuck some away
because when it starts getting a bit icky, interrupts the flow literally.
No, every pen under the sun. I collect them. Okay. I've got loads of them. I've got this one is from Book Funnel.
Oh yes.
This one is just bought cheaply. This one is the Battery Shop in Swindon.
Oh.
Basically, I just collect them, and I've got loads. I do occasionally go through a phase where I just want to write with pencil though, and I found a really nice pencil.
I can't write with pencils.
Oh,
I don't know why. I think
every now and then it just appeals to me. I don't know.
Well, my problem is one of the disadvantages of learning to touch type is my handwriting has degraded now unbelievably. I genuinely can't read my handwriting even after I've just finished the sentence.
Same.
I'm a lot slower.
I found that my spelling has deteriorated. I play the New York Times games, the mini, the MIDI, the connections, the whatever. One of them is a spelling bee. And you've got 7 letters and you need to make as many words as possible with those 7 letters and try and get a pangram, which is one that uses all 7. And I find that my remembering the number of L's, for example, in belligerent or something, I found that my spelling has really deteriorated since, everything is auto-corrected now.
I think I was going to say, I hate to tell you, but belligerent is longer than 7, isn't it? B-E-L. I'm thinking now.
It was the only example I could think of.
My spelling improved when they brought in spell checkers, because it was pointing out when I spelt something wrong all the time. Red underlining it, and I would go, oh, drat. And that constant reminder of how to spell things has improved my spelling.
I've just stopped learning how to spell things.
No,
I don't focus on it at all. My head is doing other stuff. I just type it out, and if it's wrong, then I get the red squiggly line and it corrects it. But I don't pay attention to what is wrong or what it's auto-corrected or what I ask it to correct. Just do it.
Do you find living in Germany that you forget English?
Oh God, yes. Right. The number of German words I put into the spelling bee, it won't accept them. Yeah. That has certainly screwed things up a little bit.
I can't understand my own handwriting either. I had my actual book signing, and people said, your handwriting is awful. Why are you a writer? Because I typed it. You know what I mean? It's weird.
What they're clearly meaning to say is you should be a doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, the big one for today's session has to be software. I came up with loads of things to write.
I'll stop you into software for a moment, because I've got one more piece of hardware to show you.
Oh, yeah.
Which really is a piece of hardware. And it's this.
Okay.
Which will make no sense until I go through the proof copy of my book with a red pen.
Yeah.
Got commas and that sort of stuff, make suggestions. And then typing it up again was really hard work. So I built myself a stand the book in while it's open.
I have one of those as well.
Yeah.
Not built by David Wake, though.
Not built by David Wake. No, not bespoke at all. In fact, again, present from the kids.
But yeah, I mean, I went on holiday to the Isles of Scilly, and I happened to go places and go to a pub here or visit a lighthouse there, and sat on a bench with my red pen and my proof copy, and I started to write at the top of a chapter where I was when I was doing that, and it became a very nice sort of weird souvenir of the holiday.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that's hardware. I don't think there's anything else on my list for hardware. So it's software. Jack, you wanted to talk about software.
I found it hard to come up with something for either hardware or for wetware, but yeah, software. I've got so much here. I mean, I've got a Gantt chart. We were talking about lists earlier. I've got a Gantt chart which tells me everything that I'm meant to be doing, in what order I'm doing, and how long it's going to take me to do everything. And I love that thing, because I don't have to think. I don't have to make a decision. I just get up in the morning and I do the next thing on the list.
I'd never heard of that until we were talking about this the other day. You both use it, don't you, David?
I've only since we were talking about it, did I look up how to do a Gantt chart on Excel.
Okay. There's somebody else in that session who used one. I can't remember who it was.
Who don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, carry on.
So Excel also. I use spreadsheets to monitor my adverts that I do. I've got a spreadsheet with all my links in it. So if anybody asks me for a link to review or whatever, then I just have to open that file and I've got all the clean links there. Then I've got, I mean, for publishing, I've got Publisher Rocket to help me work out the keywords and the categories, which is an incredible piece of software. Atticus helped me format it because I don't use Vellum.
Yeah, exactly.
I write in Scrivener, but my editor requires it to be in Word, and then she sends me back a Word file, which I can put back into Scrivener, but invariably I don't. So I use for the writing, it's Scrivener, for the editing, it's Word, and then it goes into Atticus for actually the formatting. I use BookBrush for promotional images because I've never got to grips with Canva, and I just need to take the time to do it, and I haven't. MailerLite manages my mailing list. BookFunnel helps me distribute my reader magnets. Amazon ads for ads, BookBub ads. I'm about to start again because I've got a Kindle deal for the month of August and I want to help promote that. And WordPress for my website, which was such a huge learning curve, but much cheaper than spending 20 euros a month for Wix or Squarespace or whatever.
I find WordPress, its editor is hard work.
Yes.
Swearing at it.
Do you use the block editor or the classic though? I avoid the block editor. The classic's much better.
I use the block editor.
Oh yeah. If you download the classic editor, if it doesn't give you the option, download the classic editor. What's it called? Begins with a P. Plugin. You can go back to classic editor. Much easier. I don't know why they introduced the block editor.
I must try that.
I found the block editor is helpful for when, so assuming I know what you're talking about, for when you design the page, but then you've got blocks inside blocks and you can't quite select them all. You can go on the block editor. You can't actually see what it is you're selecting, so you have to have named everything, but which I haven't done. But you can then select the section or the header or the whatever it is that you need to select that way.
Okay.
I don't
WordPress free. Is it free? Yeah, WordPress.
Yeah.
Free, yeah.
I think there's a paid version, but I use the free version and it does everything I need to do.
I made up a website years ago, but it has never worked. And I had to pay for it.
Right. Yeah, this one is on WordPress. I paid for the domain, but it has a WordPress. It's linked to it, which is free.
I had to pay for the theme. I got a theme.
Okay.
And I can't remember the name of the theme that I got now, but I bought the theme and I bought that as a one-off thing. It's the monthly subscription things. That's what I don't want. I don't want this thing where I see money going out of my account every month. I don't plan on updating my website every month. So I don't want to pay 20 odd euros every month for just because I built it with Wix and Squarespace.
Well, everything's going to this monetized subscription model, isn't it? I mean, I paid for Word for a lifetime use of it. To upgrade my computer to stop me using what I've paid for, so I have to pay them further. And I don't agree with that. So, Darren, you were saying you use LibreOffice, don't you? I think it's the other free one that I was considering using.
eBay Office.
I have a solution for that, because when Darren mentioned it, I went to, and I bought from them probably 3 times for me and 1 for somebody else. There's a website called Gamers, GAMERS outlet, and I've just gone to the homepage to click where it is. So if you click on MS Office, you've got various options, and what they do is they buy, and I'm sure this is legitimate, I'm sure at some point, because Microsoft is now going over to the 365 model where you do have to subscribe, you can buy, so Gamers Outlet buy a block of say 1,000, 10,000 licenses, and then they sell them off one by one, and it's about a tenner. So Microsoft Office say 2019. Office Professional Plus 2019, you get Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Publisher, OneNote, and Access, and that's $565 as a one-off. 2021 is $869. 2024 is $23.49. So the newer the version, I think I've got 2019, something like that.
Or you could use LibreOffice, which is the one I've been looking at.
Yeah, and I think that will convert to Word, won't it? If once you're ready,
yes.
If you need to send it off in the Word version, it will say, it's a bit like Atticus. Atticus will save it as various versions.
I've been using it for years, so it's worked so far.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I haven't gone to use it is the search function isn't as nice as the one in Word. And I've written a computer program myself that communicates with Word and does special things. So I'd have to rewrite all that stuff for LibreOffice. And I don't know how to do that.
Why are you considering getting it, David? Getting Word? Getting the other one,
LibreOffice. I've got it installed on my computer.
Okay.
The reason was to get away from Microsoft.
Okay.
I want to go to Linux. So I've got Linux on a data stick all ready to go, but it's a nerve-wracking process. It's going to take me months to sort everything out. So I've been putting it off.
Yeah. But the trouble is, if you want to send it anywhere, then most people work on Word. So you have to at least have something that will convert it, even if you don't use
LibreOffice will convert to Word.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I use an awful lot of software to sort of automate things. So I've written my own computer program to automate certain things in Word and that side of things. And I also use Auto Hotkey, which changes what I press on the keyboard to other things to speed up that process. So, for example, I haven't written my email address for years because it's a shortcut on the keyboard. Or the date, I just do Control D and the date appears. So yeah, I use Word. I also use Grammarly Pro Writing Aid. I experimented with recently, and Hemingway, which is a website for checking style. It's trying to make you write in short sentences. So there's all that sort of thing that can help you out in that department. Except don't use the generative AI stuff because that's naughty.
Yeah, Chat GTP, by any chance? I don't fancy any of that stuff.
No, you just stay well clear. Because now on Amazon, you've got to tick a box to say whether you're using AI or not. It doesn't affect you, but I think it's coming. The last couple of conventions I went to, when the topic of AI turned up, there was a visceral reaction from the audience against it.
Which is great, I think. From a reader's point of view, readers don't want AI because once you look on Facebook for something, of course, then it shows you all the others, and there are so many. You mentioned subscription. I'm finding with certain things, it's actually going back the other way. People are fed up with subscription models, and now a lot of the things that are being offered to me on Facebook adverts are one-time fee, and they're relying on so many people buying it that it's then making them money. And if people buy it and don't use it, then all the better for them. If you're paying per month and you don't use something, you're more likely to cancel it than if you've paid for it as a one-off. It's like AutoCrit. I use AutoCrit agent, and I bought they had a lifetime, I think that's subscription only, and it's like Pro Writing Aid. It's one of the early ones, and Grammarly and so on. So you can, as a paid up, you can put in as much as you like. They have a free, I think, up to 500 words a day, and it will do everything really that Grammarly and Pro Writing Aid do. Tell you what you're doing right and wrong, and so on.
Not always right.
No, you have to
Pro Writing Aid wrecked my ability to do commas for about a week.
Right.
I was trying to put commas in, and I trusted it, and I shouldn't have done. So I had far too many commas, certainly in the early chapters of the thing I was working on.
I think AI is really useful for research, but everything, and you do have to, even if you have used AI to do your cover, I think then it's not a box I want to tick.
No. And it's putting people out, creative people out of work, isn't it?
Yeah.
I want to pay an artist because I want the artist to then buy my book. So it's software. Any other bits of software we haven't covered?
Let me look at my list.
I mean, Jack's list was huge going on.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, it's what we want, isn't
it? Always useful. Where are we? Here we go, Sandra. I think my hardware, I also had I've put it on mute, so it won't pick me up, is my Amazon Echo. Because if I just need to check how something's spelled or a fact or something that I know is right, but I just want to double check, then it's quicker if I just go echo, what is such and such, how many L's in whatever the word Jack said earlier on, and then it will come up with it. So it's much quicker than coming out of what I'm doing, going into Google and then typing it in.
I've got mine there and I use it for mental arithmetic.
Yeah.
What is 45 divided by 7?
Exactly. No, it's brilliant. So I had, and I have 2 iMacs, one in theory to do all my writing on, and the other one for everything else because it's quicker. Amazon Echo, mini notebooks, pens, phone. Also, I use my apart from using notes on my phone, I also do a lot of screenshots. So if I've got something, say Google or Sky News or Apple News, and there's something that's really interesting, or these in-betweens on Facebook, and I think, oh, that would make a really good idea, something that's happened years ago, and then I'll do a screenshot. So I'll do a screenshot of the first page, scroll up, screenshot, and then I've got the whole article as photographs, and they often come up with really good ideas. Software for me, I love podcasts. Writing excuses. If I only needed to pick one, it would be writing excuses. And they say their tagline is 15 minutes long because you're in a hurry and we're not that smart, but they really are. And they've been going for at least a decade.
What do they do? I've not heard of them.
They cover they're mainly sci-fi fantasy writers, but they cover so much, so many other things. They'll talk about software, wetware, hardware, various aspects, description, characters, everything you want to know really about writing. And they've been going, have an episode, I think it's episode a week. So there are hundreds of episodes. And there's usually 4 or 5 of them. And they'll talk about whatever topic is there at the time. And also the guy behind Kindlepreneur and Publisher Rocket, Dave Chesson, he did one for a while, I think it was for just over a year, called Book Marketing with Dave Chesson. So I'm working my way through Book Marketing Show podcast with Dave Chesson, and that's Chesson. And we all need to know about marketing.
There's also the Self Pub Fest podcast.
Not yet. No, not yet. However, I am seriously looking at putting
videos on YouTube if they're not podcasts of a sort.
Of a sort. Yeah, podcasts generally on things like Apple Music. I've got one called 300 Words on Spotify, which I'm apparently Substack is will then farm it out to all the podcast, Podbean, and wherever good podcasts. Google Play, I think you can get podcasts on there as well.
Since we're on this subject of software and things, I wanted to come back to Darren's point about music. Darren, do you do what I do, which is create a playlist for a particular book that I'm writing?
I've gone to YouTube. Yeah, when I wrote the first book, it was a phase. I was listening to a lot of, I like my heavy metal music, Metallica and that. And there's just one specific album, Master of Puppets. You love that song, basically. And it just helped me get through the book, basically. Not all the time, though, Other stuff as well that helped me out. Themes from movies as well, epic movies. Transformers and that, things like that.
I use soundtracks a lot. in my mood music, but it's got to be a soundtrack that's not recognizable. You can't use Raiders of the Lost Ark or Star Wars because that brings that film into your head.
Yeah.
So I wrote a series of SF books using I Am Number 4, which is a film I've never seen.
It's just a good film.
Atticus Law, I think, wrote the books. Atticus Law, I think, wrote the book.
Oh, okay.
It's a good movie. I thought it was a good movie.
Oh, eventually I'm going to see it. It's going to be weird watching it with the soundtrack that I'm so familiar with in the background. Yeah.
I want them to make more of the films, because there is quite a few books, isn't there, of that one?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm Number 4.
No, they never made a sequel.
No. I quite enjoyed that film. The point
we're trying to make, not that this is, not to start talking about films, but is music can give you the right mood for whatever it is you're writing. And also, once you start playing that music, your brain is used to, right, now I start coming up with ideas. I think it's a very good way of programming yourself.
Well, 50 Shades of Grey had references to various music, and they brought out a CD of the sound of the before the film came out. A CD came out with a book, I think.
It's like when I've done like a creepy scene on the first book and also the second one, and I'm doing like a creepy scene, I visualize it. And one time I listened to the soundtrack of The Fog by John Carpenter. Freaky soundtrack, freaky film, eh? And I listened to one of the songs, I was like, right, this is good. So I just started writing with that, and it's like, it helps. Just picture the scene in your head, like really visualize it, And yeah.
So you managed, Darren, to listen to music with words in it, because I can't. I have to have classical music. And there's actually a station on our electronic friend, called Classical Focus, where it will play sort of the more gentler stuff and not have any opera or wires or anything with music with words, because I find that too distracting if I have words.
When everyone says some people say your first draft's the hardest, the easiest. I find it the hardest for some reason. I don't know, because your mental judgment comes in. It's like your novel's going to be bad or whatever, and so I stop and I kind of freeze. But then afterwards I keep going. So when I've done the first draft, I go through the second one and I listen to music with lyrics as well, because I'm just going for it, Then when it's like a final draft, I'm in silence and then I read aloud. I read through it like aloud there, just to see if it, makes sense, if it conveys well as well. So, no mistakes. So yeah, that's how I usually do it. It takes time though.
We are
we're
sort of talking about using music to program our brains into a particular state, aren't we?
Yeah, I'll use music to help me channel my characters. I write in silence. There's no way I could have music when I'm writing. Not instrumental, not classical, nothing. But I mean, there's a song, I've got a playlist which helps me channel my main character. And it's got songs like Hazard on there by Richard Marx. And there's songs that have like stories behind them. And it just gets me in the right mood. Dry County by Bon Jovi as well. That's on there. They're songs that actually tell a story. And I enjoy listening to those. And they will get me in the right frame of mind that I can then channel the character properly. But no, I'm writing in silence.
Right. It's interesting, Darren said about reading aloud, because another bit of hardware, as I haven't mentioned, is I have a Kindle Fire, and that has text to speech. So when I've finished a draft, doesn't matter, and also if I'm editing anybody else's, I drag and drop so it appears on the Kindle, and it will read it out as it is. So whereas sometimes when we read it, we're adding in things or mistaking a word. And I find that invaluable. It's made my editing and myself a lot easier, because it reads it as it is. And so you hear when words are missing, or it's using a through instead of a though, and so on. Yeah, it's brilliant.
That's very good.
Yeah. So cool,
I do read aloud. I read aloud to myself, and I try and do it as accurately as I can. But like you say, you fill in gaps and your brain sees things that just aren't there.
Yes, it's the repeated word on a line, isn't it? You know, if you have a line that ends with the next line might start with the. So you've got two thes, but you never see that. So if you get it read aloud or you read it aloud, that comes across, doesn't it?
I came across a sentence yesterday. I was looking at it and I had Pro Writing Aid on and it had underlined it with blue. I don't know what blue means. But typically when it underlines things, I just check on things. And I read it and I couldn't see anything wrong with it. And then I clicked on it and it said it's missing a determiner or indeterminer. Basically, it wasn't a object. I can't remember what the sentence was. But Mike rides a bike. It just said Mike rides bike. And I read it, couldn't see anything wrong with it. And then it wasn't until I clicked on it and it told me what was wrong with it. And I thought, okay, yeah.
There was somebody, I don't know if it was I think it was a long time ago, so it was pre-Self-Pub Fest, where somebody said they changed the font. So if they're working on, say, 12 Times New Roman 12, when they edit, they select all and then change the font to 11 or 13 or 16 or something. So it's so the words then, as David's just said, about ending in a line on with there and then having another there, everything's then in a different place. And he or she finds it easier then to edit it because it looks slightly different.
They're all different ways of seeing the text differently. You know, a different font size, a different type of font, or having it read aloud, or reading it aloud yourself, or taking the proof copy to the R's of Silly with a red pen. They're all ways of seeing it differently and spot stuff that you wouldn't otherwise.
Yeah, definitely. It's like looking at it fresh, a fresh pair of eyes.
I had one more on my software for photos. If we ever need photos, and they are Creative Commons free use, there are a couple. There's Morgfile, Morg as in dead people, morgfile.com and pixabay.com, and you can get free photos. They have a lot. You have to be careful because they have a lot of adverts for Shutterstock and Getty. So you have to make sure that the one you click on is Pixabay or Morgfile. And I find that useful. I use it for when I run a 50-word competition, and when I put the results up, I have a picture that represents the story. But if we're looking for characters, characters, it doesn't matter. If we're going to use it for something, then you need it to be bought or cover design, for instance. Yeah. The likelihood is you probably have to I have loads from Adobe. You're more likely to, if you pay for them, then you're less likely to find the same one as somebody else has. Although this one for the road, I know somebody else has got the same cover. But I like it and it represents the book. So.
But there's one bit of software I forgot to mention, which is WordWeb, which is a thesaurus program.
Okay.
Just download it and it sits in the background, and in Word you just hit a hotkey and it will pop up telling you what that word means and giving you all the alternatives.
Okay.
I found that useful. Very, very useful.
Yeah, synonyms are really useful.
Yeah, particularly, I discovered this at a period of time when Microsoft Word didn't want to suggest anything offensive. So its thesaurus was reducing the number of words that it told you. So my vocabulary started to go down because I was using Word's thesaurus. And I didn't realize that they were just quietly throwing words away.
Wow.
And then I got WordWeb, and I was startled at how many options it told me for things. And that's free. I think you could do a paid version, but I use the free version if you don't fly more than twice a year. That's good.
Sorry, I have a question for you guys about software. Whether or not, and I don't understand the point of either of these two things, so that would be a good explanation as well. Whether or not either of you used either Pinterest or Substack, because apparently authors use both, and I understand some people use Pinterest for a mood board, which I guess is similar to me listening to my storyteller playlist. But I don't understand why you would make it available to everyone. I don't really get that. But I know that a lot of authors are on Pinterest and a lot of authors are on Substack, and I don't know what they do. So any of you use them? And if so, in what, how, why?
I don't use any of that.
Not
I'm
at
not
all.
good with technology. Yeah.
Bob Morgan.
Okay. Pinterest is sort of like an old school Instagram. It was, yes, very much for mood boards. So you have
Okay, speak in terms that I understand.
okay.
Old school Instagram.
You just mentioned mood board. So it's all about pictures. So there'll be different categories, different folders, and you set them up. So I might have one for short stories. So I might put my cover in, or a bit of on Canva, because you use book brush. I might do, if I've got a quote, say if I've done a book tour, then I'll get quotes from all these book reviewers, or from Amazon, I get quotes from book reviewers. So I might do a lovely little poster with where you can just drop in the cover and then do this social media blurb, which I know you're not a fan of social media. But I went into Pinterest the other day because it came up and I now get notifications of all this rubbish on Pinterest, quality items. And apparently I hadn't used Pinterest for 13 years. So, but I'd heard like LinkedIn. I haven't used LinkedIn for probably about almost a decade. But so many people have been saying to me that this is where, I mean, on Instagram, it's called Bookstagram. On TikTok, it's BookTok. And so I'm sure there are Pinterest, but Pinterest is like a Facebook version. I don't know what the younger version, where the TikTok
It helps get your work out there. It helps with that.
Sorry, what?
It kind of helps to get your work out there.
Yeah.
Is that what it does?
The trouble is, it's the age-old question. I'm on everything, everywhere. And with TikTok, I am gradually putting these, if they're under an hour, gradually putting these on TikTok because they're videos. But it's whether you go on, whether you're like me, you're on everything, but don't do much on anything, Facebook mostly, or whether you're sensible like Jack, who's on very little. But the sort of wise thing is pick your three and then blast those. So I've just bought some Lifetime, $47, I think it was, a thing called Content 360 that does social media scheduling. So it will then blast to all of these, and I can choose the same thing and put it whenever I like, including Pinterest. And so then I can set it up to post, because I've been in Facebook sin bin by posting the same thing too often. And apparently it starts with a day, then 3 days, then a week, then a month. And I've had my month. So the next is a ban. So I have to be very careful on Facebook not to get banned, because it is really useful. Substack is like the modern version of a newsletter. So you get it, or MailChimp and MailerLite and all of those. And I'm on Allies. I subscribe to various. I haven't done my own yet, but I am looking at it to certainly have a self-pub fest thing, because I thought I was the other day was subscribing to Substack Pro, and I paid something like £48, and apparently for a year. And I thought I was then getting the inside, a bit like on podcasts. There's a thing begins with a P. I can't remember what it is, where you can Patreon, where you can pay a bit for that particular host to then get extra content. It's a bit like readers sign up to the newsletter Reader Magnet. So on Substack, if you subscribe and pay, you get extra content. Now, I thought I was paying £48 for a year for Substack as a whole. It turns out that I was paying £48 for Orna Ross, who is Ally, the Alliance of Independent Authors, to get extra content from her for a year. So there's a lot of money to be made on, and she's got 20-something thousand subscribers. Now, whether that's free and paid or just paid, But equally, it's like newsletters. Who's got time to send? Because I have a newsletter for crime, I have a newsletter for women's fiction, I have a newsletter for non-fiction. So in theory, even if I just do it once a month, that's 3 newsletters a month, which I don't do. So Substack is sort of the new, more interactive newsletters. So you can see online. It's a mix, sort of bit of a mixture between closed door newsletters that only go out by email or Facebook, where everybody sees everything.
But presumably you don't own the mailing list, so you don't know who you're messaging.
Or probably not in that case. No.
And with Pinterest, I mean, if you make these folders and everything, does that mean that everyone can see what folders you made, or?
You've probably got public and private, because like anything on Facebook, you can make something visible to public or friends only, or whittle it down to that.
There's a bewildering array of these things, aren't there? I mean, it's worth a full hour on its own. And I wanted to wetware.
I was watching a webinar on Saturday, and the guy on there basically said that in order to achieve GEO as opposed to SEO, or as well as SEO, you need to be everywhere. But you can open an account on Instagram and Facebook and others, I've no idea what they are. And simply you don't have to use the account, you don't have to post there regularly or anything. But then when somebody searches for your name, the AI will be able to get proof of who you are from multiple sources to present to the person. Because whenever you Google anything now, you get the AI spiel at the top. And this will help you apparently get schema markup, which is something else entirely. Yeah, exactly.
Are you following all of this, Darren?
Well, after
this is what you have to look forward to.
After our last wee chat, kind of a few weeks back, I opened up my Facebook again after about a year and a half because I couldn't remember my password, and I'm looking at it and I'm just like, I don't know where to start, because they always say Facebook's handy. Most authors use the social media and that, and I'm just no one for like what you mentioned earlier, kind of all that stuff. It's just like I have to do it, you know.
It takes so much time. It doesn't leave you much time for writing.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's
why I bought this. Yeah, that's why I bought this scheduling software, because then I can just set up one thing and schedule it to post once a week, once a month, something like that.
I want to move on to wetware, but we've done that with touch typing. So is there anything else you should have? Oh, yes, Morgen, absinthe.
Yes. Absinthe and Coke. Delicious.
Oh, a cup of tea. Get my brain going.
Just drinking water.
Water.
Yeah. Darren, are you drinking?
Just water.
Okay. Yeah, I should. I drink too much
Just water.
soda. Yes. Chai tea and fizzy water. I like fizzy water. Or pineapple juice and fizzy water.
I'm going for exercise. Go for a walk. I can get you into the right frame of mind for writing. Yeah,
I have a dog.
Right, there's another interesting thing. So I was watching. I went to the self-publishing show live in London in June, and one of the guys on the stage says that he uses a dictaphone, and because he has a dog and he walks the dog twice a day, and each time he goes for a walk, it's like 45 minutes or so. He dictates the entire time that he's out walking, and he's got this. I don't know if he does it into his phone or into a little gadget, but by the time he gets home, it's already been transcribed by AI.
Okay.
And so then he spends about 15 minutes reading it through and correcting whatever mistakes and putting in speech marks where there should be speech marks and there aren't speech marks and things like that. But then, that takes him about 15 minutes. And what he finds is that at that point, he's 15 minutes into his writing day, but effectively he's already written 2,000 words.
That'd be nice. 2,000 words in 15 minutes.
Yeah, because he's done it all
Yeah,
when he was talking to his dictaphone.
yeah.
Now I'm not aware of the software required for that, and I've been looking stuff up, and I'm semi curious about it. I think it takes practice to talk to yourself while you're walking in the woods, and just try and sketch it out in
I
your mind through your voice rather than on paper through your hands.
I know of a writer who drops her kids off at school and then sits in the car and dictates the next chapter of her book. She then sends that file off to somebody in Australia, goes home, has her previous day's stuff typed up by this person in Australia, and reworks that. But I tried dragon speaking once, and I have no fear of the blank page or the blank screen, but the blank air when I started dictating, I just couldn't cope. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
I tried it and I found I was quicker and more accurate typing.
Yeah.
But also it's in old school dictators, dictaphones. I would struggle not seeing it because unless you can remember what you said 5 minutes ago, how do you, if it's just audio without actually rewinding back to the right bit, how do you, whereas with this, it's notes and it's iPhone's notes. And so I can dictate into it, see what it's writing, and it's linked to, because the folder is via my email address. So I can then go on my Gmail, go down, scroll down to notes, click on notes, and each file is a different, effectively, email. And I can just open that, copy and paste it into my Word, and copy and right click, paste unformatted, and it will come out as the same format as the Word document.
Right.
Yes, there's so many different ways to do it now, especially with technology as well, and it's just whatever works, like whatever's easier for you, again.
Mm.
There are
I
some things
think
I
you should
want to
do.
try and see if they work for me. I don't know if I could do this. Like you say, you can't see what you've said before,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I can formulate the blank air.
Thank you.
Have you got an I? What
You
kind of
should
phone
trademark that.
are you Android or iPhone, Jack?
I'm Mac all the way.
Yeah. Well, if you've got
Apple
an
Mac.
iPhone, it's the yellow thing with white top
Yeah,
right.
I have notes. I use notes for a lot of things, but
Yeah,
do you use
just
it for
I do.
dictation?
Yeah. So I literally, so that's a blank, and then I tap to get the keyboard. You can't really see; it's a bit too bright.
No, I can
And
see
then
everything.
bottom right, there's a little dictaphone,
Ah,
so you can get it to type it in.
wow.
There it is.
I did not know this. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I can try it and see if it
There's
works.
And then you
probably an
just
That'll
save
Android
work.
it top
equivalent.
right
Yeah.
and
That'll
bin
got
it
that.
and add it, go back and forth and add to it. And then it will come out if you link it to your, I can tell you off screen. If you have it, you've got choice of either shared folder, iCloud, your email, or on my iPhone. And then if you save it to your notes folder on your, if you've got Gmail, on your Gmail, it's then in your, so you can go back to your Mac and then click on, go to your Gmail, go down to notes, and they're all there.
I don't seem to have it.
Oh,
I'm this is my
yes. Oh,
yeah.
okay. You may need to update it if you go into settings and update the software.
I
It's
think I
pretty
had that
much up to
before. I can't
date,
remember.
but I don't seem to have a microphone setting.
Oh,
Right. Maybe we should
anyway.
all sum up and then start looking at our phones.
Yes. I'd like to know about the hippopotamus
Oh, well,
because that was promised. That was promised to us in the blurb.
was it really? Oh dear. I was writing a book, a first draft, which I still have to get around to rewriting, and I wanted to put a hippopotamus scene in, but
Okay.
I had problems working out where to put it.
And did you
That's it.
solve it? Did you?
Yes, I think I did. Yes, and I think it became a different animal as well.
Oh, hippo.
So, No, I remember now. No, there is a hippo scene in there, and in another place where I could have put the hippo, I put a different animal in.
Okay. That was worth waiting 3 weeks for.
Yes, it was, wasn't it? No. Well, I think to everybody here, thank you very much, Darren, Jack, and Morgan, for telling us about your writer's toolkit. Is there a final? Let's go around the.
Well, I think Darren should.
Statement.
We haven't had a lot from Darren, apart from a bit of software and your phone and water.
What now? I don't know what else to say. Although I have a question. What do you do when you get the writer's block? What helps you get it back?
Save me till last, and I'll fill in any blanks.
All right, David, you're up first.
Sorry, yeah, go on, Jack.
Okay. I sit and write anyway. The problem is that if I'm not writing, then it does affect my mood, and I can get quite gloomy. And then I get to the stage where even though I know it will help me feel better, I don't write. So I need my writing. So if I'm a bit stuck and for some reason the words aren't coming, and what I'm really thinking about is clearing out my room downstairs and when I should be writing, I found that it's the best way for me to focus is to just sit and start writing. Even if it's rubbish, even if it's absolute crap.
Yeah.
Just sit and start writing, and the next day will be better.
I'm of the school of thought that there is no such thing as writer's block. I realise that's ridiculous. But yeah, give yourself permission to write rubbish, because you just need to get your brain working in that direction, and a page of nonsense, and then you start writing proper stuff, and you can delete the nonsense later. Or play some heavy metal music. Yeah,
that does help sometimes.
Smashing
the keyboard.
Do what David and I do: work on more things, more than one thing at once.
Yeah.
So that if you're stuck on one, you then go to the other thing. I think David's on about half a dozen things at the moment. I'm about the same.
I've got it down to 5.
At least 2 things.
Yeah.
Or go back and write a short story. In fact, in preparation, Jack mentioned it earlier on, in preparation for when your first book is out, but certainly your second book, write some associated material. So a novella or a short story, so that when you get your newsletter up and running, you've got something. Sign up to my newsletter and I'll give you a free related short story. Or a prequel, right? A short prequel. This is what happened before chapter 1. I just put more here. If I know something a bit later, so David is a puzzler. Jack, are you a pantser or a planner?
Planter.
I'm a
plan, and I think I planned out the whole book, and then I get to about 30,000 words and realize that I'm missing about 40,000 words off my plan, right. And then I have to stop and replan.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I think as long as you can answer who, what, where, when, why, and how, if you can answer just one sentence for all of those, it gives, even if that's all you can do, it gives you some structure. So you know where it is and what's happening and when it is and why and so on. If I know something later on, I'll put more here. So when I get to the end, I then know I've got gaps, and I will search for the term more here. And because I've written later stuff, I can then usually fill in the gaps. Write something different. If you're writing horror, write something fantasy, write a completely different genre, or read something. Or
I use the same technique as the more here, but I put it as a heading 3. So when I do my contents page, it gives me a list of all the things that I have to do.
Okay.
What about you, Darren? What do you do when you get stuck?
Well, one time I did an assignment and my cursor was just blinking. I was sitting here. I'm like, I can't get anything. Then I waited till the next day and it all just came back to me. I was just typing. But it really just depends. Like you said, you can write something else. Like, let's say the novel, I was going through that. I couldn't think of anything, even though it's in my head. Then eventually it says, just write something else then. Write what happened during the day, at your work. was a time when COVID was on. I was at work. I had a month from hell, and I started writing about that. Just like therapy. It's like therapy writing, isn't it?
Yeah.
In a
Yeah.
sense. So I started writing about that, write what happened to you at work, right? Ken, everything like that. Even swearing it. Swear as hell, they were about grammar or anything like that, just write. Then eventually, 2 days, 3 days later, maybe a week, I'll go back to the novel. Um, films, games, books, and also music can kind of help, like what I was saying earlier, depending on who or what it is. The stories, the characters. So I love Aliens. I love that film. All-time favorite film. The
Is that the
music
second
as
one?
well in
Is that
it.
the second one?
Yeah, things like that.
Right.
John
Yeah.
Carpenter films, The Thing.
Yeah.
I want to say the joke that, I've published 16 novels, and it doesn't get any easier. But actually, that is a joke, because it does get easier. You recognize, I've been in this mess before. I know I'm going to be okay in a week. So you sort of relax more. You don't knock yourself out with this, fear of writer's block. I think that
See,
can freeze people.
Another thing I do, if I know I'm writing rubbish and I think, or I think it's got nothing to do with the novel, I write it anyway, but then I'll use this strike through. So I'll highlight the bit that I think's rubbish and strike it through, but keep it in there, so that when I come back to it, I can if it's not relevant but I like it, cut and paste, put it somewhere else. Or if it is a load of rubbish or it needs tweaking or something, then I'll know that's a grey area that I think, okay, I really need to look at this. But I think variety, and if you're writing what you did during a really ordinary day, then your brain will go, this is so boring. Let me do something a bit more interesting. Let me go back to the book. And some writers stop, they'll go to bed at half a sentence and their brain will carry on going, so that when they get up, as your brain did, Darren, 2 days later, you were still
It kind of works
working.
out the scene in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm at work, I'm just sort of, I visualize a film in my head. Right, will he do that? Will she die? Will they go there? Ken, it's just weird. Yeah, but it's just part of it. So
That's great.
Well, thank you. I'm conscious that we need to be under an hour. So
For TikTok,
anybody
indeed.
got final thoughts?
Yes.
Sort out your office chair.
Yeah.
Buy lots and lots of software, or you can get it for free, and learn to touch type.
Does help.
Yeah. That'll do it.
Thank you, David.
Thank you very much.
Jack. Lovely to see you, Darren. Hopefully we'll see you more in the future. Whatever appeals to you. And certainly if anybody has any suggestions, the three of you and anybody watching this have any suggestions for topics that we can talk about, the calendar is always very flexible. So if there's anything that nobody's booked on, if you go on to the Monday mini fests and the T&T panels, if there's anything no one's booked on, then suggest a topic and we'll bring it forward. Thank you. Thank you, David, for hosting.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.